When working for you, identity change can be a powerful force for self improvement. When working against you, though, identity change can be a curse. Once you have adopted an identity, it can be easily let you allegiance. Ability to change. Many people walk through life in a slumber, blindly following the norms attached to their identity. I'm terrible with directions. I'm not a morning person. I'm bad at remembering people's names. I'm always late. I'm not good with technology. I'm horrible at math. And a thousand other variations. When you have repeated a story yourself for years, it is easy to slide into these mental grooves and accept themselves as a fact. In time, you begin to resist certain actions because that's not who I am. There is internal pressure to maintain your self-image and behave in a way that consistent with your beliefs. You find whatever you can to avoid contradicting yourself. The more deeply a thought or action is tied to your identity, the more difficult it is to change it. It can feel comfortable to believe what your culture believes or to do what upholds your self image. Even if it's wrong, the biggest barrier to positive change at any level is identity conflict. Good habits can make rational sense, but if they conflict with your identity, you will fail to put them in action. On any given day, you may struggle with your habits because you are too busy or too tired or too overwhelmed or hundreds of other reasons over the long run. However, the real reason you fail to stick with habits is that your self image gets in the way. This is why you can't get too attached to one version of your identity. Progress requires unlearning. Becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. This brings us to an important question. If your beliefs and worldwide worldview play such an important role in your behavior, where do they come from in first place? How exactly is your identity formed? And how can you emphasize new of your identity that serve you and gradually erase the pieces that hinder you? The two-step process to changing your identity. Okay, the two-step to step process to change your identity. Your identity emerges out of your habits. You are not born with present beliefs. Every belief, including those about yourself, is learned and conditioned through experience. More precisely, your habits are how you embody your identity. When you make your bed each day, you embody the identity of an organized person. When you write each day, you embody the identity of creative person. When you train each day, you embody the identity of athletic person. The more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with the behavior. In fact, the word identity was originally derived from the Latin word essentias, which means being an identitum, which means repeatedly. Your identity is literally your repeated beingness. Whatever your identity is right now, you only believe it because you have proof of it. If you go to church every Sunday for 20 years, you have an evidence that you are religious. If you study biology for 1 hour every night, you have evidence that you are studious. If you go to the gym even when it's snowing, you have evidence that you are committed to fitness. The more evidence you have for a belief, the more strongly you will believe it. For most of my early life, I didn't consider myself as a writer. If you were to ask any of my high school teachers or college professors, they would tell you I was an average writer at best. Certainly not a standout. When I began my writing career, I published a new article every Monday and Thursday um, for the first few years. As the evidence grew, so did my identity as a writer. I didn't start out as a writer, I became one through my habits. Of course, your habits are not the only actions that influence your identity, but by virtue of their frequency, they are usually the most important ones. Each experience in life modifies your self image, but it's unlikely you would consider yourself a soccer player because you kicked a ball once or an artist because you scribbled a picture. As you repeated these actions, however, the evidence accumulates and your self image begins to change. The effect of your of experiences tends to fade away while the effects of habits gets reinforced with time, which means your habits contribute most of evidence that shapes your identity. In this way, the process of building habits is actually the process of becoming yourself. This is gradual evolution. We do not change by snapping out our fingers and deciding to be someone entirely new. We change bit by bit, day by day, habit by habit. We are continually undergoing microevolutions of cells. Each habit is like suggestion. Hey, maybe this is who I am. If you finish a book, then perhaps you are the type of person who likes reading. If you go to the gym, then perhaps you are the type of person who likes exercise. If you have practiced playing the guitar, perhaps you are the type of person who likes music. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes builds up, so does the evidence of your new identity. This is one reason why meaningful change does not require radical change. Small habits can make a meaningful difference by providing evidence for new identity. And if a change is meaningful, it actually is big. That's the paradox of making small improvements. Putting this all together, you can see that habits are the path to change in your identity. The most practical way to change who you are is to change what you do. Each time you write a page, you are a writer. Each time you practice the violin, you are a musician. Each time you start a workout, you are an athlete. Each time you encourage your employees, you are a leader. Each habit not only gets results but also teaches you something far more important. To trust yourself, you start to believe you can actually accomplish these things. When the words mount up and the evidence begins to change, the story you tell yourself begins to change as well. Of course, it works the opposite way too. Every time you choose to perform a bad habit, it's a vote for that identity. The good news is that you don't need to be perfect. In any election, there are going to be votes for both sides. If you don't need a unanimous vote to win an election, you just need a majority. It doesn't matter if you cast a few votes for a bad behavior or an unproductive habit. Your goal is to simply to win the majority of the time. New identities require new evidence. If you keep casting the same votes you always cast, you're going to get same results you always had. If nothing changes, nothing's going to change. It is a simple way two-step process. Decide the type of person you want to be. The first thing is decide the type of person you want to be, and the second one is prove it to yourself with small wins. First, decide who you want to be. This hold at any level as an individual, as a team, as a community, as a nation. What do you want to stand for? What are your principles and values? Who do you wish to become? These are big questions, and many people aren't sure where to begin, but they do know what kind of results they want. To get six pack abs, or to feel less anxious or double their salary, that's fine. To start there and work backward from the results you want to type of person who you get those results. Ask yourself, who is the type of person that could get the outcome I want? Who's the type of person that could lose 40 pounds? Who's the type of person that could learn a new language? Who's the type of person that could run a successful startup? For example, who is the type of person who could write a book? It's probably someone who consistent and reliable. Now your focus shifts from writing a book to being type of person who is consistent and reliable. This process can lead beliefs like I'm the kind of teacher who stand up for her students. I'm the kind of doctor who gives each patient time and empathy they need. I am the kind of person who advocates for her employees. Once you have handle on the type of person you want to be, you can begin taking small steps to reinforce your desired identity. I have a friend who lost over 100 pounds by asking herself, what would a healthy person do? All day long, she would use this question as a guide. What would a healthy person walk or take a cab? Would a healthy person order a burrito or a salad? She figured it if she acted like a healthy person long enough, eventually she would become that person. She was right. The concept of identity based habits is first introduction to another key theme in this book. Feedback loops. Your habit shapes your identity, and your identity shapes your habits. It's two-way street. The formation of all habits is a feedback loop. But it's important to let your values, principles, and identity drive the loop rather than your results. The focus should always be on becoming the type of person, not uh, getting a particular outcome. The real reason habits matter. Identity change is the north star of habit change. The remainder of the book will provide you with step by step instruction on how to build better habits in yourselves, your family, your team, your company, and anywhere else you wish. But the true question is, are you becoming the type of person you want to become? The first step is not what or how, but who. You need to know who you want to be. Otherwise, your quest for change is like a boat without a rudder. And that's why we are starting here. You have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. Your identity is not set in stone. You have a choice in every moment. You can choose the identity you want to reinforce today with the habits you choose today. And this brings us to deeper purpose of this book and the real reason habits matter. Building better habits isn't about littering your day with life hacks. It's not about flossing one tooth each night and or taking cold shower each morning, wearing the same outfit each day. It's not about achieving external measures of success like earning more money, losing weight, or reducing stress. Habits can help you achieve all these things, but fundamentally, they are not about having something. They are about becoming something. Ultimately, your habits matter because they help you become the type of person you wish to be. They are channel through which you develop your deepest beliefs about yourself. Quite literally, you become your habits. So, this is the chapter summary. So, it says